morning. Thanks for joining us on The Press. Yes, indeed, it is the greatest show on television, I tell you. In the morning, once you tune on your TV at this time, this is the best station to glue yourself to as we bring you front pages of discussion from our national dailies. Today, we have our guest coming in to discuss something important as it affects you and I. I always advise that you be part of the conversation so you can call in once the phone lines are open so you can have your say. This program was created for you. The day we sat down to create this program, we had just one person in our hearts, in our mind, which is you, that Nigerian who loves this nation and want the best for it. My name is Anire Binitie. Thanks for joining us. So today, the usual weather report and our front pages will go on as usual. And now we're starting with our weather. This morning, we're starting in Edo State. Let's start our weather report from Edo State. This morning, Edo started at 24 degrees Celsius. By 9 a.m., it is right now 25 degrees Celsius at 45% of rain. By 10 a.m., is expected to rise to 26 degrees Celsius at 50% of rain. At 11 a.m., 27 degrees. At 12, 28 degrees, remaining so at 1 p.m. at 28 degrees. However, it is going to reduce 5% short to 45% of rain in Edo State. Highs at 28 degrees Celsius and lows at 23. Rainy conditions will continue all day. Wind gusts are up to 4 miles per hour. Away from Edo State, let us jet now to Delta. Let us take a look at the weather report for Delta State this morning. Delta presents the same because thunderstorms are expected around 12 p.m. though wind gusts will be at 5 miles per hour. It's going to be all drizzle there in Delta State with highs at 28 degrees Celsius and lows at 23. Right about now in Delta State, it is 25 degrees Celsius at 60% rain. By 10 a.m., is expected to rise to 26%, 26 degrees at 60% rain. At 11 a.m., 27 degrees at 60% rain. At 12 p.m., 27, remaining so till 1 p.m. Meanwhile, by 12 and 1 p.m., the wind will definitely increase to 65% as you can see it. Delta State is going to be all rainy, just like Edo State. So if you're in those states, you know exactly what to do if you haven't left the house. All right, let's move on from Delta to Bayelsa. It is rain in Bayelsa today. Highs at 27 degrees Celsius and lows at 23. Thunderstorms expected around now in Bayelsa with wind gusts up to 3 miles per hour. By 10 a.m. is expected to be 25 degrees Celsius at 75% of rain, which is more rain than we have in Edo and Delta this morning. By 11 a.m. is expected to rise to 26 degrees, but falling short 5% to 70% of rain. By 12 p.m. in Bayelsa, it is expected to be 27 degrees at 70% of rain. Meanwhile, at 1 p.m. is expected to drop back to 26 degrees at 75% of rain. That is Bayelsa for you this morning. Those of you watching from Bayelsa, that is your weather report. Away from Bayelsa, let us go to Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt this morning started at 23 degrees Celsius. By 9 a.m., right about now, it is 24 degrees Celsius in Bayelsa. In Port Harcourt, I beg your pardon, at 75% of rain. By 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 25 degrees Celsius at 70% of rain. At 11 a.m., 26 degrees Celsius. It will remain so for 12 p.m. and 1 p.m., maintaining the same percentage of rain at 70%. Meanwhile, thunderstorms are expected around 12 p.m. Wind gusts are up to 4 miles per hour. Remember, highs at 26 degrees for Port Harcourt and lows at 23. Away from Port Harcourt, let us go straight on now to Enugu. Enugu is up next. Cloudy conditions expected around 1800 hours. Wind gusts are up to 5 miles per hour. Right now in Enugu, it is 24 degrees Celsius at 45% of rain. By 10 a.m., it will rise to 25 degrees Celsius at 40% of rain. At 11 a.m., 26 degrees Celsius at 30% of rain. By 12 p.m., it will rise to 27 degrees, and by 1 p.m., 28 degrees. Highs at 28 degrees and lows at 22. Away from Enugu, let us jet off now to Imo. Imo State is up next. Imo, rainy conditions will continue all day in Imo. Wind gusts are up to 5 miles per hour. Right about now, it is 24 degrees Celsius in Imo at 60% of rain. By 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 26. That's a big leap, if you ask me. 26 degrees Celsius, maintaining the 60% rain. By 11, it will rise to 27 degrees Celsius. It will maintain same till 1 p.m. However, for 11 and 12 p.m., it's going to be 55% of rain. It will, however, rise 5% up to 60 by 1 p.m. All right, let us take a look at Lagos. Let us come back now. Let us take a look at Lagos. Today in Lagos, rainy conditions expected around 10 a.m. Wind gusts are up to 9 miles per hour. Right now in Lagos, it is 26 degrees Celsius. However, by 10 a.m., it's going to be 27 degrees, and it is expected to start raining from that time at 40%. At 11 a.m., it will rise to 28 degrees Celsius, maintaining same for 12 p.m. at 45% of rain. Highs at 28 degrees Celsius and lows at 24 degrees for Lagos. Away from Lagos State, as we move on, let us take a look at, Kano. We have Kano right here. Let us take a look at Kano. Kano this morning, I love Kano so much. Kano always consistent with his weather. You can see the sun peeking out from the clouds. It's going to be mostly cloudy with highs at 31 degrees and lows at 23. Right now in Kano, it is 25 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, by 11 a.m., it's expected to rise to 27. I'm saying Kano, not Dubai. By 11 a.m., it's expected to rise to 29 degrees Celsius. By 12 p.m., 30 degrees Celsius, and by 1 p.m., 31 degrees Celsius. Highs are going to be at 31 degrees Celsius and lows at 23. Partly cloudy conditions expected around 10 a.m. Wind gusts are up to 15 miles per hour. That is Kano for you. All right, away from Kano, let us take a look at Kaduna this morning. Cloudy conditions will continue all day in Kaduna. Wind gusts are up to 13 miles per hour. Right now in Kaduna, it is 23 degrees Celsius. By 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 24 degrees Celsius. By 11, 25 degrees Celsius. By 12 p.m., 26 degrees Celsius. And by 1 p.m., 27 degrees Celsius. Lows are at 27 degrees and highs at 21. Benue is up next. Let us take a look at Benue this morning. We have our weather report for Benue this morning. Cloudy conditions are expected in Benue. However, rainy conditions will definitely follow at 1800 hour. Wind gusts are up to 11 miles per hour. In Benue right now, it is 25 degrees Celsius. By 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 26 degrees. By 11, 27. By 12, 28 degrees, maintaining same for 1 p.m. Highs at 29 degrees and lows at 23 degrees Celsius. Up next is Jos. Let us take a look at Jos. Jos, rainy conditions expected around 1700 hour. I think that's about 6 p.m. Wind gusts are up to 9 miles per hour. Right now in Jos, it is 22 degrees Celsius. By 10 a.m., is expected to rise to 24 degrees Celsius. By 11 a.m., 25 degrees Celsius, maintaining same for 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. Highs at 25 degrees Celsius and lows at 18 degrees Celsius. All right, that is weather this morning as we go straight to the papers. If you just joined us, you've missed the weather report for the day. We advise that if your state was mentioned, you do the needful, especially for those states that is going to be rainy all day. In Abuja, it was raining all through the night. We had a slight drizzle, that is in my area. A slight drizzle in the morning, but the rains were really heavy, in Abuja last night. But this morning, the sun came out. Not in all parts of the state, of the capital, but of course, in my area, right down to work, there was a little bit of sun. All right, we are done with that. Let us go straight on now to the front page of our papers. And this morning, I am starting with the Vanguard. The Vanguard newspaper this morning, let us take a look. It says, procurement, federal government rejects U.S. report alleging lack of transparency. There's a writer says AUGF fails to provide substantive report on budget execution. Report not true, says the federal government. Well, our discuss this morning will be surrounding situations like this, and I want you to please stay with us when the time is right so you can call in and be part of the conversation. So on the front page of the Vanguard this morning, it says, FAC, NUPRC records 459.6 billion naira revenue shortfall despite 3% rise in monthly remittance. I'll take that again. NUPRC records 459.6 billion naira revenue shortfall despite 3% rise in monthly remittance. That story continues on page 19 of the Vanguard. And beside, just below the mast, beside the screaming headline, it says, State of the Nation, why we can't return to regionalism, Tanko Yakasaya. That story is credited to Tanko Yakasaya, or Yakasai. All right, that is all we can take on the front page of the Vanguard this morning. All right, let us move on now to the next paper popping up right here. Believe me, it is the Matrix. The Matrix is popping up right here, and it says Fubara opens up on visit to Tinubu. That is the Matrix. Fubara opens up on visit to Tinubu. We have three riders to that story. It's a father-son discussion to tell him thank you that I have resumed. I came for proper guidance so we don't run into crisis again. Reveals he and his principal are working together. Page 2. Above the mast, amid wait for CBN's 302nd MPC meeting outcome, expert pushes for interest rates, CRR cut. That's a business story. Away from that, GDP growth, an indication that Tinubu's reforms are working. Presidency says increased production will crash food prices. Oil sector grew by 20% in second quarter 2025. Outperformed non-oil sector, says the NBS. High traffic crashes Nigeria Customs pre-exam portal for recruitment. That story continues on page 9 of the Matrix. High traffic crashes Nigeria Customs pre-exam portal for recruitment. What do you expect? Nigerians are looking for jobs. Every year we have graduates, universities churn out graduates, and this year we know the numbers that the universities will admit, both public and private universities. And of course, after a 4, 5, or 8 year course, they're expected to be released again into the market. Jobs are not available. And when situations like this occur, there is no way you won't have portals crashing. It is not a new story. It is something that we are used to. I would just advise that probably they create a different mode, or different process of, getting this information across, so we do not have situations where portals are crashing right, left, and center. So at the end of the day, the right people are definitely employed. Okay, let's move on. Death toll in Benue militia attack hits 11, says official. Natasha's cybercrime trial stalled, moved to October 20th. We're keeping our fingers and toes crossed on the Natasha story. If you're like me, just sitting down, sipping on cold water and a little bit of lemon as we watch this story unfold. We hope to see the end of the story. All right, let's move on. Funke, this is an entertainment story. Funke Akindele, Tony Abraham quash feud rumors at movie premiere. That is good news. Away from that entertainment story, borrowing key to poverty reduction. House Speaker recants. Borrowing key to poverty reduction. House Speaker recants. Every man with his own opinion. Now on sports, Dembele wins first Ballon d'Or as Bonmont, can I pronounce this well? Bonmati makes history with third title. Bonmati, I think I got it right. Dembele wins first Ballon d'Or as Bonmati makes history with third title. Okay, let us move on now to the Daily Monitor. The Daily Monitor this morning says, I'll work with stakeholders to sustain peace in Rivers, says Fubara. The Daily Monitor, I'll work with stakeholders to sustain peace in Rivers, Fubara. Two riders declares end to political feud with predecessor, Nyesom Wike, says Aso Rock visit an opportunity to seek guidance from President Tinubu, avoid future political crises in Rivers. We wish him all the best. Federal government begins verification of disputed oil gas fields, wells in Niger Delta. Page 2. There shouldn't be any dispute if you ask me. I think, well, I don't know. I have to be careful here. Probably we'll get to a point where it is going to be finders, keepers for the oil wells found in the Niger Delta. Maybe then there'll be a shift in the dynamics of our nation if all eyes are not on the oil wells. And of course, there'll be focus on other things to ensure Nigeria remains great. Remember, I said finders, keepers, as it is done in other climes. Away from that, Tinubu has no plan to remain in office beyond 2031. Presidency, replies El Rufai. Okay, let us watch. CAC vows to end delays, unveils measures to ease company registration. All right, we have more. IGP urges a foresight, creativity among police leadership. Nigeria's GDP grew by 4.23% in second quarter 2025, MBS. All right, let us move on to the blueprint. The blueprint is up next. The blueprint is up next. I can see calls coming in. This is the front pages. When it is time, we shall open the phone lines. And please don't get weary, don't get tired, so you can call in if you're the one calling in right now. All right, let us take a look at the blueprint. The blueprint this morning says, case withdrawal. IGP debunks claims. AIG petitions U.S. Embassy over rape of American citizen. Okay. Investigating team rejected 100 million naira bribe by Indian suspect. Lafia. Council writes Benue AGF wants case file withdrawn from police. All right. Away from that story, why National Assembly is in support of Tinubu's borrowing plan. Abbas. I've not had the time to read that front page story. Definitely after the show, I'm going to sit down this time with a cup of tea to actually go through this particular front page. If you're interested, it's on the Blueprint newspaper and is on page 8. Naira strengthens as MPC meets tomorrow amid rate cut speculation. Business, Naira strengthens as MPC meets tomorrow amid rate cut speculation. 2020, page 20. All right, more stories. African parliaments move against $587 billion US annual revenue leakages. Nigeria loses 18 billion US dollars annually to financial crimes, says Abbas. Sports. Under 20 World Cup, Flying Eagles take on Australia in friendly. I hope I got that right because there's an F in front, so I presume it's Flying Eagles. Flying F and Eagles, well, I don't know. If you understand sports, if you're actually taking a look at the front pages, that is exactly what I'm seeing here. I hope I got it right. So there's going to be a friendly by the under 20 Eagles squad. Okay, let us move away from the blueprint. We have more papers. Let me try and get that. All right. Up next is the Punch newspaper this morning. It says, flood disaster, states intensify action as 232 die, 121,000 displaced. NEMA lists Niger, Adamawa, Lagos among worst hit states in 2025 as farmlands, homes destroyed. Very, very sad indeed. Away from that, Olubadan, Ladoja coronation rites begin with prayers. Olubadan, Ladoja coronation rites begin with prayers. Page 12. FX reserves hit 42 billion US dollars, highest in 6 years. Page 23. Dolphins dedicate Zenith Bank title win to lead Bordering. Fubara consultable on Rivers Peace sustenance. MBS announces 4.23% economic growth, labor differs. Page 23. Up next is the Nigerian Tribune. Let us take a look at the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Nigerian Tribune says Tinubu Fubara and father-son discussion in Aso Rock. Governor seeks guidance on how to avoid further crisis in rivers. Away from that story, above the mast, senators divided over Natasha's resumption. A trial on alleged cybercrime against Akpabio stalled, rescheduled for October 20th. The next one is on health. Inhaling marijuana increases risk for asthma attacks by 44%, says study. Inhaling marijuana increases risk of asthma attacks by 44%, says study. Bodies of 8 missing policemen recovered in Benue as gunmen kill APC chieftain. Insecurity in the land. 4% FOB levy, LCCI expresses concerns over enforcement despite federal government's suspension, calls for policy clarity. Page 6. And our focus this morning, U.S. threatens visa ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders. This is our focus of discussion, our analysis on the show this morning. Please remember to stay with us. Court fixes September 29th to hear Osun government's motion on withheld local government funds. The next paper is Al Jazeera Nigeria. We have that this morning. Al Jazeera Nigeria says GDP rises by 4.23%. Despite strong oil rebound, non-oil sector continue to dominate economic output, accounting for 95.95% of GDP, says the NBS. Zamfara gets forced alternative dispute resolution center. Very commendable. Withheld local government funds cut to year Osun government opposition on suit. FCT declares kidnappers hideout. And on page 6, what constitution amendment must reflect, says Kalu. Ebonyi governor's wife hands over 26 houses to widows. Wonderful. NIWA commences revitalization of Oguta River Port. Finally, on Al Jazeera Nigeria, Lagos government meets computer village traders on a relocation to Katangwa. All right, we have Voice of Liberty. Voice of Liberty is up next on our front pages. Tinubu, worse than military, wants to be Nigeria's Paul Biya. El-Rufai. He needs counseling. Presidency hits back. Protesting workers shut down $10 billion NLNG Train 7 project. No visa for corrupt Nigerian officers, U.S. declares after petition against Wike. We have finished Obi Fault's Remi Tinubu's birthday donation appeal. INEC is a prisoner of the presidency. Dr. Bogaje demands urgent reform. We have one more paper. First Daily this morning is the last paper we're taking a look at this morning. Pure injustice. Governor Dewey decries Bayelsa's only 8 local government areas. Fubara declares Rivers crisis over, says he. Wike working together. APC chieftain AJ Ude shot dead by gunmen in Otukpo. Air Tanzania opens direct Lagos flight to boost trade tourism. Corpses of 8 missing policemen found in Benue. All right, that is our front pages this morning. If you want to read more of any of the front page reports that I have actually read right here, you know what to do. You can go online, you can go to the newspaper stands, you can get those papers, or you pay a little bit of money so you can read all of them. So we're going to take a break now to usher in our guests this morning. And in between the mix, the phone lines will open so you can be part of the conversation. All right, so stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Don't blink. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. Yes, welcome back. It is still the press, and I'm glad to let you know that I have my guest, actually two guests, but I have one of the two that I'm expecting this morning. The show will go on. Today, we're taking a look at a very important topic, State of the Nation. U.S. threatens visa ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders. That is what we're taking a look at this morning. Now, fighting corruption knows no borders or limits on accountability. This is the stance of the United States on global anti-corruption efforts as the nation once again threatens visa ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders. Recall, in May 2023, the U.S. announced that it had taken steps to impose visa bans on persons who disrupted the recent general elections in Nigeria. Now, corruption is a misuse of power for personal gain, manifesting through acts such as bribes, fraud, and bias from influential entities like governments and businesses. Corruption occurs when those in power use their authority for personal gain at others' expense. It is considered an abuse of power when someone in power influences decisions through dishonest means such as accepting bribes, engaging in under-the-table transactions, manipulating elections, etc. Today on the show, we have a guest who is right here with us. Let me do the introduction. He is Ime Ufot from the Nigerian Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria-born Southeast Zone. He is a member Nigerian Guild of Editors and, of course, currently Executive Director Communications and Marketing, KAFTAN Television, Abuja. And this morning, he is a social affairs analyst. Ime, it's so nice to have you once again on the press.
Good morning, Nigerians. Thank you for having me on the show.
You're looking very dapper.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your dress sense is one thing that I appreciate about you.
Oh, I'm humble. I'm flattered.
So today we're taking a look at a very important topic. We're talking before we came live on air. I could feel the passion in your voice, and we need to communicate same with our viewers watching this morning, as this platform is created to dissect issues that affect us as Nigerians. And of course, when we have the time, we'll talk on issues across the border. And today, one of such issues is clashing, which is the United States and, of course, Nigeria, as we take a look at the latest on U.S. threats on visa ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders. But before we go deep into that, let us talk about the state of the nation. I want your take as a Nigerian, your state of mind on the state of the nation, Nigeria.
Well, the state of the nation of Nigeria, is it the health sector? Is it the educational sector? Is it the banking policies, agri, securities? There are various enormous challenges that faces the nation. I think one of that is more worrisome is that in our Nigerian state today, we don't respect the rule of law. And we keep saying in other clients, in other clients. I don't know, those who in other clients, are they spirits? I mean, you see people, not obeying the law. It's rather unfortunate. I guess this week, they're going to, award senior advocates to some legal luminary this week. Calling young lawyers to the bar and all those stuff. And you ask yourself, it's even a slogan, go to the court. Go to court. And one of the dangers of some of these things is that it affects our economy. Because any investor who wants to invest must see that the rule of law is obeyed and followed. Now, if it's not followed, it becomes contrary. For instance, look at the US that everybody was looking at as a model. But it's the other way around. The president wakes up in the morning, do whatever, look, let's do a law. If this person's against me, let's revoke the license and all those stuff. Tyranny and all those stuff. But in our state, poverty is ranging. I was just sharing with a colleague of mine yesterday, was saying, that he remember I used to fly 15,000 naira.
7,000?
7,000. But today, it's a big issue. Lagos, Abuja here, 150, 140, one way, not to and fro. So if you don't have any serious things to do, it's like, don't fly. I mean, how many people, the income is getting lesser, the inflation is getting higher, skyrocketing, and the house rent, feeding, and where you cannot feed well, a nation cannot grow, because it's in the process of feeding well that you can think right. If you are not thinking right, if basically the Maslow hierarchy of needs is not met, and I see, anyway, doing all their possible best. You know, talking about Nigeria, Nigerian happens to me. Nigerian happened to me. I mean, I can tell you for free, it takes them a lot of process for them to get those people. And really, it shouldn't be. It should have been, oh, go there, you see, oh, that next door neighbor there. But they have to do a thorough research, sit down and begin to find them and now protect them. The state of the nation in terms of insecurity, look at the Northeast, Northwest. I mean, see what our great army did yesterday in Jos when they bumped into wood and making manufacturing local drops. It's worrisome. And the element of patriotism is diminishing every second. Even the people that are saying they're in government, they are patriotic because their pocket has been lined up very well. Now when they leave the place, they are no more patriotic. They now begin to criticize the government. Case study, El-Rufai. DGFC minister, governor, now is now fighting. You know, if he was there, will he have said that? That is absolutely state of inequity because it's unbalanced. If we had followed and obeyed our laws, we won't be in this mess. It's just, nobody will forget late Major General Tunde Diagbo about war against indiscipline. There's so much indiscipline in our society. Disorder. A councillor, ordinary councillor will blow siren and blow you out of the road. Say, get out. You know? I even saw one advert, if you want escort to go to your village to go and see your people to show you how right, you hire 140. I said, how did we? In Nigeria. How did we, what is all that? No. How did we get here?
Are you sure? Oh, you saw an advert like that?
I saw it on my... I said,
So you can actually rent escorts now to your village to prove to your people that you have arrived from the city?
Do you need to prove to your people, or to first of all prove yourself? When you have proved yourself, then you now reach out to your people. I remember in the 80s, 70s, when you were a professor, those days you are well respected. When a judge, I used to remember some of those judges, they don't even wear agbada. You see them on suits, well knitted. The late Justice Oputa, Justice Kayode, I remember those men. Justice Akiola Aguda, Justice Adelaide Ademola Adetukunwa, blessed memory. These were noble men. Noble men.
Now, Ufot, let me ask this question, because you mentioned patriotism. Do you think, going by what we face as Nigerians, especially the focus on the topic we're taking a look at, do you think it is a time we begin to teach patriotism in our schools? Probably teach from kindergarten how Nigerians need to be patriotic to their nation, or if kindergarten you think is too early, should we create a course where we teach Nigerians to be patriotic from primary school and love nation beyond self? Do you think that in some way will create a shift in our expectation as a people for the nation?
I live in this country. When I was in primary school, I attended a public school that I really attended, 7 Days Adventist Primary School. It was owned by the Adventist Church. We were taught moral instruction we were taught social studies. Social study was, in fact, Independence anniversary is coming. When we were in school, we were looking forward to Independence Day. I used to remember my parents, they would make a special dish.
Definitely.
Especially when Nigeria was at 25.
Definitely.
I remember that song by Bongo Zikwe, Nigeria at 25. It was a celebration, it was colorful. Everybody wanted to sit down on the screen to watch the nation at 25.
It was like the Nigerian Christmas.
It was a Christmas in Nigeria. But today, I mean, Independence Day is coming. When is it safe? I mean, how can somebody, you know,
Definitely.
when is it? Then the question is, how did we get to this point? Even in the religious bodies, centers, our values, are they being taught? Are they being preached? Even the people teaching it, are they being living or lead by examples? And this thing starts from home. I mean, I saw a clip of video of students in secondary school smoking in the hostel, and they now use social media to now, what kind of parents, what kind of value system do we teach? You see a parent making sure that the child or the daughter make sure that he send a special center. I didn't do that. When I went to my college, God bless his soul, late Reverend Father Joseph Slattery, St. Finbar's College. Those days I remember when we want to do a promotional exam, once you are in Form 4, it is the WAEC exam that our seniors wrote. That is what they will give us as a question exam, but we didn't know.
So they were preparing you for the final examination.
When we now saw it, I said, if I had known, I would have. But we were prepared. I knew I was not going to fail.
Because the foundation had been laid.
No, you cannot fail. It's not possible. Some of those, my classmates, 40 years ago, we are still meeting. And 2 of them are generals now. The other one is in US. He was working with Shell. He left Shell. He made 8A1. The
foundation was perfect.
They were too solid. Too solid. So time these days, it's all about, you see, and when you look at those values, those morals, I mean, now at times I ask, what Marwa is doing? He's doing a great job. I think the man, Mr. Marwa, retired, is overwhelmed. He said people should begin to test people's, is it to have an equipment to test their brain if they are not into drugs?
Yes.
You see, those tests, it's not only those children. They should start from the head.
No, that's what he said too. That's what he said. But we never saw the I mean, that request never saw the light of day, because I remember he actually, when he came in, he actually said that those in government, the test should start from those in government.
Yes.
Often those vying for positions, you know, should be tested if they're into drugs and stuff like that, because if they're going to lead the nation, then we need to know the people we are voting for. Those things are done in secret. It's not what you see outwardly that determines the person. We should also account for the things that they do secretly, and one of the ways to find out is to do the test, not just for students in secondary schools and universities, but those in the corridors of power, and those who wish to come into the corridors of power, so we know the people were put in there. Even the process of recruitment to the people of power is faulty. Okay, talking about faulty recruitment, topic this morning is State of the Nation. U.S. threatens a visa ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders. We'll take a short break, hoping that our second guest is here. When we return, more for you. Stay with us.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Take a look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
Yes, thanks for staying with us on the press as we continue our analysis, our discussion this morning as we take a look at the state of the nation. U.S. threatens visa ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders. We're about to take a look at that. I remember growing up as a child in secondary school. I was a part of the debating society, and there was one particular recurring topic amongst others that we talked about, which is corruption. And, you know, in defending for, there's this popular saying that corruption is eating into the fabric of our society. As a child then, you know, the image in my head is the fabric must be really dirty. What kind of fabric is this corruption eating into? The fabric of our society? If I'm a Nigerian, a child living in the country, and we're all together in the mix, how come the fabric that holds us as a nation is being eaten out by corruption? That is me as a child growing up, a child in primary school, debating society. The question is, has that changed? And now the United States is threatening a visa ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders. We want to take a look at this unfolding situation. Recall not too long ago, in 2023, just after the election, there was also a threat for, such a threat for leaders, or those political leaders who, of course, came in through the back doors or did one or two to ensure that the elections are not fair. We want to take a look at this. We're talking about patriotism before we went on the break. And before we came on, Ufot was telling me, you know what, we do not need any nation to tell us what to do as Nigerians. We do not need any nation to put a ban on visas for us to tackle corruption in government, in business, in other parts of our life. Doing this research, I discovered that corruption goes beyond bribery, it goes beyond embezzlement, money laundering, fraud, favoritism. It goes to extortion, information trading, and it is a vicious cycle that just goes around and round. Ufot, let us take a look at this latest ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders. Who determines which Nigerian leader is corrupt? What is the yardstick for determining which Nigerian leader is corrupt? How would the United States pick out who is corrupt in the mix? That is a question I want to know, even based on what you've said, that we do not need any ban for us to get our acts straight or right.
Now, the question is, why such a threat? What led to the threat?
Okay.
Who causes the threat, and where is it, who, why, and where? The reason is this: we have failed to put our house in order. We steal the funds, we go outside, keep it in this country, and those leaders watch our lifestyle, the way we live. I mean, you can see in Nigeria buying 3 houses at the same time, buying 2, and paying cash. Some pay cash right away, where the society that has mortgage system. And then they have also seen our lifestyle, the way we live. And the question is, we keep flying abroad for medical checkup. Checkup, eyes, nose, everywhere. And then some governors will ask and say, we have even built the state-of-the-art
medical centers.
But the question is, have they ever patronized these medical centers? Even the Aso Rock Villa Hospital, I don't know, I've never been there, but I don't know if that clinic is open or is always open. There is deficiency. I think I also remember in this country, UCH was like a Jerusalem for medicine, for medical checkup.
All over the world.
All over the world.
All over the world to UCH.
And if you were studying medicine in UCH, you were as if you were in Harvard, John Hopkins of this world. Equivalent. And when a doctor said he graduated from UCH, I mean, you give it to him. And I used to want someone graduate from UCH, and he's having a graduation party. It was heavy. It was well celebrated. An achievement. The other day, was it yesterday or this morning, I just saw how they said someone was writing ICANN.
For a commissioner.
What nonsense.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. No. How did he get into the hall?
Well, we're tracking that story. We're tracking that story. We'll bring the update for Nigerians right here or on our news bulletin.
Yeah, tracking it is another thing. But how did
we're tracking to find out if it's true. When it's alleged, it becomes real when it moves from that point, in inverted comma, open and close, to the truth. And we're going to track to find out if it's false or there's any truth to the allegation.
Now, even if it's false or truth, the fact is that why should somebody else even have the audacity to enter the hall?
Audacity. I mean, that person is not a ghost.
Yeah,
if the person is writing on behalf of somebody sends the person there.
It's just like Nigeria Defense Academy. Somebody going there to say, I want to write the exam.
It's not the Nigerian Defense Academy. It's a different examination.
No.
Totally.
This is there are certain things you will not dare to do because you know the consequence.
That's why we're talking about situations like this.
The consequences, yes. Because you know that territory is a no-go area. Now, why should you be afraid of doing that in that territory? Because there are stiff penalties, and there are laws, and there are discipline, and there are ethos that governs that structure. So you cannot even say, go to court. The law will take its due course.
Now, the law taking its due course, I want you to know that the phone lines are open right now. You can call in and be part of the conversation as we take a look at State of the Nation. U.S. threatens a visa ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders. This program is your program. We await those calls and now to begin to come in so you can be part of the conversation. So please, Ufot, continue.
Now, U.S. ban. Is it not a shame? A 65-year-old man, now they will be telling you, you can't eat this, you can't go there. At that age, that you should be free?
Please, let's take this first call. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me? Okay, we lost that call. Please keep the calls coming in. Okay.
You know, now, it's now becoming a status symbol for the rich. I don't know if they're still middle class, to now say, oh, my son, my daughter, he's studying abroad. You know, as if here, the system seems to collapse. And it looks as if it's a private university that seems to be more organized than the government. There's lack of inconsistency in our system. One of time, a governor said he was going to put his children in public school. He went, fixed, his son wasn't. Now, when he was no more there, he retrieved his son out of the thing. Is that policy continues? No. Now, U.S. putting ban on our Nigerians who are corrupt. Since 1999, we've been hearing about corruption. The last one was the one that the Kogi State governor was trying. They say he should come out, and the governor went and took him, you know, back forward, and all those stuff. They eventually now submit himself and all. That's, I mean, please, we should, I guess, we are joking. What kind of rubbish is this?
So for me, when I saw these questions, some of the questions that I've asked here, wanting to also find out if this is the right way for us to go in fighting corruption in our nation. Is this a threat? Will this create any change in the hearts of those in government or those in the high places, you know, who have the right and opportunity to guide us as Nigerians? Will this in any way have an effect? You know, that's the question that I asked myself. I don't know what's happening. The calls are just caught in this morning. Please, those in the technical unit, can you help us take a look why the calls are coming in, but somehow we cannot access them. We've lost about 5 calls since the show started. Please, we will really need your assistance on this. Okay, so I asked myself if this will in any way create a change, it will create a shift, and the U.S. putting a ban on Nigerian leaders. For me, it appeared faceless, because I sat down, I was trying to, like, you know, imagine how they were going to go about it, but you gave us an opening to that idea of the fact that Nigerians, when they travel abroad, buy, let's take this call. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Hello, good morning.
Okay, please, I can barely hear you. Can you put your phone close to your mouth, please?
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Please go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm from Yobe State. My name is Emmanuel.
Okay, go ahead. The volume is so low, I don't know why, but go ahead.
First, I heard what people are saying concerning corruption in Nigeria.
Okay.
I wanted to say there that, yes, what US are doing is the right thing. Because if Nigeria want to help themselves, they could be able to stop this corruption by their behavior, by the office. I can't see any person in the present, the senators or whatever, they fired because the government is too bad. The government is corruption. They corrupt. They always go together. You can imagine sort of this governor, this man from the rivers, the governor of rivers. Now, they wanted to take him down to pay if you want corruption. You can able to stay where you're staying here. And you just do your work. Other things you are just doing. You want to follow the people who are cheating and go and sit there. You want to follow people who are corrupt to go and corrupt yourself there. That cannot maintain your prestige. And say one thing, Nigeria is already corrupt already. So that to help Nigeria is to fact, it's only prayer. By the grace of God, it's only prayer. Because if you look at the Bible said when Samuel was talking to people talking to Samuel, that he wants someone to lead them. So someone started asking God, how can these people say that he wants people to lead them? Say, God says Samuel, they are not rejecting, but are rejecting. I think God, our Christians are rejecting God. If we can able to put our things together and do something needful, this Nigeria will be a better place for us. And the people who are honest are there. Some people are honest there. But most of them, the corruption people, that cover the people who are good. So that's all I want to say. Just by grace of God, let us be praying that Nigeria will be okay later.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so we had a first caller. Please, when you call, try as much as possible to put the phone close so you can we can hear you right here in the studio. So, Ufot, I was saying that you more or less gave an opening to me understanding how the United States was going to go about it. The fact that you say that it is a known fact that Nigerians, especially those in government, according to report, not quoting me, they buy properties abroad and they pay in cash. So probably that is an opening, a way by which you can actually track and ask questions. How much do you earn as a public office holder, and for you to come over to the United States and buy properties and pay in cash? Nigerians are known, they are known to always buy properties or pay in cash when they should pay, like you said, mortgage and stuff like that. So let us take a look at that. The question again I have asked, do you see this ban creating any change at all?
I don't know. Nigeria has a way of circumventing so many things, and my question is, why is it that it's always this US? Why no other country? Now, and this country too, they contribute to it. You saw a fund, they brought it, you kept it, and then suddenly, because you have a clue of what is going on, and again, these politicians, they witch hunt themselves so much. I mean, someone could just send some details to FBI, send some details to them instead of me and said, oh, this person.
Please watch this person.
Watch this person. So there's this vindictive witch hunting among themselves. So the enemy is not even the US. The enemy is among themselves there, especially if you are no more in one's good book. These other brothers begin to antagonize, witch hunt, open up, because you were privileged to be in that circle.
Let's take a call.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, we lost that call. This is happening. I'm not happy that we're missing all our calls today, but please keep calling so you can be part of the conversation. Now, on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, there is this criminal line which says, procurement, federal government rejects U.S. report alleging lack of transparency. Says AUGF fails to provide substantive report on budget execution. Now, transparency, again, I think is another yardstick that they would use because beside this particular story, we have another report from the United States saying that there's no transparency in terms of budget execution. That, again, too, is a worrisome situation, though the federal government says that the report is not true. A lot of people say there's no smoke without fire, or sometimes we put a question mark in front of it. Is there smoke without fire when it comes to a situation that has to do with us? And of course, reports like this coming in. And, I don't know, I would really want you to help us understand the change that will come from this, because I really want you to let us know, as a Nigerian, seeing this, the ban, it's not the first time that we've gotten the United States giving threats of banning, leaders, for corruption and other activities. But has there been a change, or would it effect a change? That's a call. Let us see if we can take this call before you go ahead. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
My name is David DTAH from Port Harcourt.
Oh, David, thanks for calling. How's Port Harcourt this morning?
Port Harcourt is fine.
Yes, that used to be my city once upon a time. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. We are talking about U.S. U.S. is not a heaven. If our Nigeria can come back home to come and build this country, well, I think we will be more than U.S. Because U.S. take many things in Africa here to their country to develop. We loot our bank here to U.S. and then U.S. take our money to be refreshed themselves. And then at the end of the day, we are talking about U.S. U.S. is not a heaven. We should come home and build this country. And let's not forget about U.S. All our doctors, they are in U.S. The best doctor in Nigeria, they are working in U.S. there. The best engineer, they are working in U.S. there. So why are we talking about U.S.? U.S. is not a heaven. Let our people come home and build this country. And every Africa that's in the U.S., they should come back to Africa and build Africa. Let U.S. come back to Africa to come and beg. We have a lot of resources in Africa and in Nigeria in particular.
Now, David, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Do you see this ban creating any shift or change? Do you see this a threat by the United States of banning office holders, creating any change in the hearts of those that are targeted? Do you see this ban creating a shift or making any correction in any way?
If America ban Nigeria in their country, I think it's a very good development. Let them come back home and develop this country. How many U.S. in Nigeria? How many of them are Nigeria here? How many of them open a company here? We bring our company to that place. We go to our bank, we go to everything, go back to that country and say U.S. is an heaven. I don't blame U.S. U.S. should send everybody back home. Let's develop our country here. Let U.S. come and negotiate with us about our something here that they need.
In your opinion, David.
And every one of them.
David, in your opinion, how do you think we can fight corruption in Nigeria?
How to fight corruption in Nigeria, we start in our home. Because the corruption starts between me and you and our children before they go to Senate and go to governor. All our corruption in China, if they do all this in China, they see the corruption in China. But Nigeria cannot take the bull by the horn. That's why everybody are afraid of saying you see somebody that is just a local government chairman, is using jeep of something million naira. Where does he get the money? Then we are not talking about corruption. Corruption starts between me and you and our children before they go to all. Our governor, our senator, they are corrupt. Everybody are corrupt. So let them ban everyone going to US. Let them ban them and stay in Nigeria. We have the best hospital in Nigeria. They cannot take care of the hospital. We are running to Nigeria. We are running to China. We have everything in Nigeria to be in Nigeria. Nigeria is a very good country. It's because all these corrupt big thief that they call themselves senator, governor, all these House of Assembly. They are bringing everybody down. You cannot go to market now and say you want to buy, or you have 20,000 to buy something to cook with your family. You cannot buy it because of all those rubbish lives they are living.
Thank you. Okay, so there you have it, our caller from Port Harcourt. So I'm asking you, Ime, how do we begin to fight corruption in Nigeria? Where do we start from? Our caller says that we should start from the home. I think you said the same thing when we were talking about patriotism.
Yes.
And you were talking about how you were prepared for your exams in St. Finbar's, and that morals were taught in the schools. And I was asking if we should start teaching patriotism as a course from kindergarten to primary, and of course all through secondary to tertiary, so we prepare the minds of Nigerians to love the nation, before self, as it were. So I'm asking, how do we begin to fight corruption? But okay, we lost the call. So over to you, Ufot.
we start from our homes. Teach the children's values.
Okay.
Good value system. And then you take it to the school. Right from kindergarten. How does those children know how to recite national anthem? Is it when they're in secondary school? It starts from, and then when they want to teach them the pledge for Nigeria, it starts from there. Those are the values you are inculcating. Those are the values that you say, do not do this. Don't walk don't cross the major road, take the pedestrian bridge. Don't throw the dustbin on the road. Don't waste, take it to the trash can and all those stuff. This is how you greet our elders. Our value system is, we have a very strong value system here, because when you spank a child in Europe, he calls the police. I mean, the child messes up his and says, how do you, take a phone and call? But because we are trying to allow the Western culture to come into our lifestyle, it's becoming very embarrassing. Where when you teach people values from primary, nursery, crèche, it's in their consciousness, even when they are in a place where they can be influenced, that consciousness is there. There's the Holy Book that says, train up a child in the way that he should grow. When he grows, he will not depart from it. And you hear in this part of our world that every child is a product of a home. When the child is misbehaved, they will say the child, he wasn't well brought up at home. They won't say he wasn't well brought up in school. He's a product of the home. So when you inculcate discipline, values, etiquette, honesty, integrity, it becomes a cardinal point in the house. In fact, when you enter the house, you will know that you can't just mess up there.
Let us pause a little bit. Now, the African culture teaches morals. From our homes, the Nigerian culture across from the north to the south, the east, the west, they teach morals. Now, a lot of people will argue with you that, if you teach morals at home, how come you have leaders who will misuse power for personal gain when they have the opportunity? Then again, we have situations where we have parents who will ask a child, not your mate to be that. Ime, calm down. We have situations where a parent or parents will ask, not your mate to be that. There are situations where you bring in a pen. I can't take a pen to my house. You will be asked where you got the pen. God help you. God help you that you do not have an answer. Then in the course of the interrogation, it is discovered that you took that pen without permission. You will be led to the person who owns it, Peter, right? You'll be led to Peter's house. You will hold the pen and return it to Peter. So you are disgraced, so that the next time you do not pick up someone's pen that is not yours. In the same stance, you have parents who would ask, no, your mates with that. You see a child driving a Benz, wearing clothes that are expensive, designers from up to head to toe. You praise the child without finding out where the funds come from. We have situation. In the mix is greed. We have people who have been trained, they have all the morals, they get into position of authority and they see this money and they lose focus. We need to take a look at the place of greed in this mix. Of course, vis-a-vis a child that has been brought up to be corrupt. Let us not shy away from it. There are people, there are children who are brought up to be corrupt. When a parent says, not your mates with that. Let us take a look at these issues.
That should be, I think, that's a very wrong value system. You don't compare another's child with somebody else. That's at times peer pressure. Also, you look at when you are in lack, when you're in want, and when poverty
is not an excuse.
It's not an excuse. That's what, no,
lack is not an excuse. Poverty is not an excuse.
I'm not giving an excuse on that. But what I'm saying is this: if you came from, I give an instance. My daughter used to have a friend, a classmate. They will come, and there's a way this girl would. I would say, look, I don't want to see this. I want to see the parents. Then one day the parent came to our house. We invited them for lunch. They came. And we sat down, we were talking. He said, you know, she's my only daughter. She's my only child. And I said, look, you cannot allow a girl of 14 fixing long nails, wearing. Look, if you are coming, I don't want to see this kind of person dressing in this manner. Can you see the way my children looks? It was an order. It was an instruction that, look, this kind of a home is not tenable. Guess what? The day the girl came, she dressed like that.
Properly. She didn't dress properly?
She didn't dress properly. She couldn't enter the house. The mother said, I warned you. Guess what? The mother went back home, changed the dress.
For her to get entrance into your home.
Get into. I didn't tell her not to enter. It's not that I was enforcing it. It's not that I was shouting. Because the atmosphere, the environment, you know, they say as you make your bed, you lay on it.
So Ime, what's the way forward? The United States have spoken their own, but we as Nigerians,
way forward.
What do we do as a people to stem out corruption, not just in high places, but also in low places? Because we've established here that it starts from the home, it graduates gradually, and unfortunately some of these people find themselves in the corridors of power, and our commonwealth are diverted for just a few, while the rest of us, you and I, the common man, yes, we face, because corruption has its effect. It does not stand on its own. The effects of corruption are terrible, and unfortunately it rubs off on everyone. While a few, smile, the rest of us who make up the majority are the ones who suffer the effects of corruption. Before that, let's take our final call for the day before you give us your own take on the way forward. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? What's your name and where you calling from, please?
My name is Yahya Suleiman, calling from Garunkwama, Kaduna State.
Kaduna, please go ahead.
My contribution on the topic is that the issue of visa ban on corrupt Nigerian leaders, I think it's a welcome idea. If Western countries and their likes would impose the same thing like this. Because if leaders will siphon our money and could not find a place to go and hide the money, I think they will not steal it again. So, for them to be banned from going to US in a corrupt manner is the national disgrace to the leaders and any office holder in the country. So I'm very happy with this move, and I say it will work.
Okay, thank you. So because of time, Ime, what is your take on how to stem out corruption in high and low places?
I think I must commend the NOA. It's like the NOA has woken up from the slumber. Advocacy, preaching Nigeria, teaching our children value system right from the home, and then making sure that there's also reward for every good work. We don't reward people who, we don't celebrate them too much. People who do as good. Remember the police that saw something and then returned the money at the airport. There are so many things like that. We have never given a Lesmania a national honor. A keke man saw money and then he returned it back and then we give, is always a high profile. We should learn to reward system. We should reward them who are doing good things. We should appreciate them to know that, look, there is reward for labor, there is reward for honesty, there is reward for integrity. If you do that, there is a way you begin to imbibe this culture. Because again, the things we see our leaders do at times is appalling. And now how do you manage that? Because at times there's a conflict of interest. I mean, a governor is coming with about 10 convoy and all those stuff. The other British Prime Minister came with 4 or 5. I mean, there we go. So it's, let's teach people values.
Let's teach people
values, honesty, integrity, patriotism, and let's take care of the people who are working for us, with us. Give them good reward system. How can you reconcile a counselor any more than a professor?
That is a big question. We really don't have time. How can you reconcile a professor?
A professor.
Earning less.
Earning less. A counselor. Earning more than a professor.
Okay, we're going to leave our viewers, we're going to leave Nigerians with that question, and we do hope that it is a question that we can reflect upon as it cuts across every sphere of our lives in Nigeria. He has spoken about reward, and our desire is to see the Nigeria that we love. He has spoken about reward for those who serve, and corruption will not take us anywhere. Corruption knows no boundaries. It knows no color. It knows no age. It knows no ethnicity. It knows no one. What we want to see is corruption being stemmed out of our society, so that fabric, that wonderful fabric, can be clean and we all can cut a piece and sew as Nigerians and shine everywhere we go in the world. That's the only time we have on the show this morning. I want to appreciate my guest, Ime Ufot, for honoring it, and of course my other guests who couldn't make it. After the show, I'm going to find out why. I do hope is okay. I appreciate those of you who called in to be part of the show this morning. Thank you. The show continues tomorrow. Make sure you call and be part of the conversation from Wednesday to Friday, the remaining days of the week where the show comes in. My name is Anire Binitie. I appreciate you for watching. Keep walking. Bye for now.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1.